you know you make me float. Boy, you really give me high. Ooh, I feel like I'm on dope, 'cause you.
Class back in session. I'm sick and tired of y'all saying y'all don't know how to lay beads or y'all acrylic is flat. We're going to fix that in today's video. Today we are going to be showing you guys how to lay acrylic beads and pick up beads. I am using Tammy Taylor's P3 and I am using a size 12 acrylic brush. And y'all, laying acrylic is extremely easy. So right here, I want y'all to know, when you're picking up an acrylic bead, do not just dip it from the monomer to the powder. Meaning, don't just pick it up and sit it right down. You see how I waited? You guys have to allow the product to work itself. When you are working against your acrylic, this is why you keep having problems. You see how it's sticking to my brush? My brush is too dry. You need a little bit of liquid on your brush in order to allow the acrylic to flow. You see how I dip it back into the acrylic and it's flowing, it's not sticking, and I can just let it go. And I'm doing light pressure. So anytime you guys are working with acrylic, just know you have to keep a steady light pressure, because if you do like too hard of a pressure, you will cause dents in your acrylic. You will start basically wiping the acrylic away. The same as if you are just picking up the bead and placing it right down and trying to work with it. You are going to have dips in your acrylic. You're basically going to just be wiping it on like polish, and you don't want acrylic to be like polish unless you're using colored acrylic. Then you can put it on as polish, and then you'll use your structure with the clear powder. So I want you to see how I got majority of the body on the brush. I'm sorry, the majority of the acrylic on the nail. Now I'm going right above that bead that I just laid, and I'm going to just walk it down slightly. I'm going to let it flow. I'm going to bring in the sides. I'm making sure the top of the bead is flat, because you don't want it big and bulky. I know a lot of people think apex, apex, apex. First of all, if you build your structure right, the apex is going to be there. Also, not every nail needs a thick apex. You just need a little bit of acrylic in the right areas and your client will be set. If a client breaks a nail, the apex is going to be there so that it does not break all the way through to her natural nail. Granted, if she hits her nail hard enough, she may still break it straight down. These are all things that you have to understand when becoming a nail tech. Now, you see how the body of the brush is there. It's perfect, it's smooth, everything is nice in order. I'm going in with a small bead to place for my cuticle. Now my cuticle beads, I like it to be a little more wet than the rest of the beads, because I want it to lay seamlessly into that cuticle. I don't want any mistakes. But everything is the same. I'm going to walk it down. I'm going to hit the sides first, and then I am going to do the middle. You want the bulk inside the middle. Alright, so I hope you guys are ready for today's lesson. So I know majority of the time that I was showing you guys, I was not in the camera. That's because I have a very unique way that I want to show you. It's really not unique, but I just want to show you guys how I do it step by step, so that way you can either avoid paying for a nail class or you can just learn how to practice it on your own. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said before, I am using a size 12 brush. Now I typically use a size 14 brush. This is my size 12 brush I got from my local nail supply. It is the Solaris brand. I absolutely love this. This is 100% Kolinsky, and yes, I got it pinched. I like having my brushes pinched because I feel like it just lets the shape hold even better. Now I'm going to show you guys how to pick up 3 different size beads: a large bead, a small bead, and a medium-sized bead. I'm going to start by just adding a little bit of liquid inside of my damping dish, and as you can see, my powder is nice and clean, dust free. Anytime that you're working with acrylic, always make sure that your powder is clear from any like debris or dust, as well as your monomer. If you have cloudy monomer, please toss it out. This will also mess with your nail sets. So the first thing I want to do is burp my brush. And what I mean by that is I'm dumping my brush completely inside of the monomer, and I am wiping it off on both sides. I'm making sure that my brush is completely clear and free. And what I mean by my brush has been crimped it means you can see one side has like a curve to it while the other side is flat. So I'm always using the curved side. I'm never using the flat side of the brush. This is also another way that can help you learn how to pick up beads. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in. Now when you're doing your beads, you just want to tap the brush. You don't want to drag it off. If you're dragging off your brush, you're dragging off all of the liquid. We don't want that. So the first thing I'm doing is picking up large beads. And I'm also waiting for it to polymerize. What I mean by polymerize, meaning like you're going to let it set. So I'm just tapping off just a little bit closer to the ferrule. When you are using a big bead, you don't need that much liquid. Now I'm going in to get a medium-sized bead. I'm going to tap it halfway through. As I'm pressing down in the powder, I'm just doing a couple of taps. 1, 2, 3. And I let it set. 1, 2, 3. So if you guys need this reminder, just count in your head. That's what I did. And you can see large bead, medium bead. And you see how perfect those guys are. So I'm going to show you guys one more time. Now, when you guys are doing your powder, make sure that you are shaking your powder to not have any dimps or dents inside of the acrylic. That also can cause your beads to come out uneven and polymerize at the wrong time. So let's go in, burp the brush, and then we're gonna just tap. We're gonna tap just a little bit of it off. And at first I said at the ferrule, you wanna just tap a little bit at the tip of the brush. This is gonna give you a very large bead. Look at that bead. And you just watch it polymerize. You can even count on the video. Just count a few seconds. 1, 2, 3. And you're gonna see this is the difference between picking up just beads and putting them down or just wiping all of it off. And you'll do similar for a medium-sized bead. You're just gonna tap halfway of the brush off. And when I'm doing my acrylic, I'm always burping my brush because I don't want any hiccups in my beads. So I know as a beginner, you kind of just want to like know what you're doing, or you kind of just want to go in. Please don't do that. Go ahead, take your time, count it out if you need to. People are not wanting you to rush all the time. Yes, after a while your speed should pick up, but if your quality does not stand the test of time, you guys are just wasting your time. Now for the small beads, I am taking majority of the powder off because I don't need that much powder in my brush. I'm sorry, that majority of the liquid off. I don't need that much liquid in my brush. You don't want a runny bead and you don't want a too dry bead. This is the method I use anytime I am laying acrylic, and this will help you guys lay your acrylic smoothly. So if you guys are having trouble, follow these steps. Now I'm going to show you guys how it looks placing it on a nail. I've already wiped it off. I've let it polymerize. I'm going to try to do it again. I'm going to show you guys. I know it's kind of out of focus, but just remember what we did before. We're taking just a little bit of it off and getting like a medium-sized bead. I'm going to let it sit. Now this is how I would be moving if I wanted it to just rush. You see how I'm just wiping it off and it's just not staying on there? That's what we don't want, guys. This is what a lot of you guys are doing and just keep on building product and building product and building product. We don't want that. We want to work smarter, not harder. We don't want us to have to file too much. We don't want us to have to sit and do too much work. We want it to be as easy as possible. So I'm going to go in the right way. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to pick up the bead. I'm going to wait. Then I'm going to place it down. I'm going to tap the sides. I'm going to let it flow. So we're letting it polymerize. 1, 2, 3. And you see how it just comes in nice and smooth. We're going to set it down, light pressure. And we're just going to let it start flowing. The acrylic bead is going to move how it needs to. And you just see that. And we're going to bring in the sides. We're going to make the tip of it flat. And you can also use the same method if you're doing ombre. You want the first bead that you lay down to be as flat as possible. So when you lay that second bead, you can blend it in perfectly. Make sure that you're going to the sides, always checking, because if you just spend so much time building that shape, why would you let the acrylic bead just spread everywhere? Now your shape is all off. That's what we don't want. And anytime I'm done with the free edge, I'm going to use the belly of my brush to take off that excess. Some people use their fingers. I use my fingers and my brush. It just depends on the mood I'm in. Sometimes my fingers just does it better for me. Sometimes my brush is okay. It's all a preference. But as you can see, it's nice and flat, and you have the bulk of it where you need to be. And really the tip of your brush, the tip of your acrylic bead, you need it to just be as thick as a credit card. You don't need it to be super thick. I know when people be like, oh, I want my nails thick because my nails don't break if they're thick. That's a lie. If your nails are too thick, they'll break. If they're too thin, they'll break. If you hit them too hard, they'll break. Acrylic is not supposed to be like this nuclear weapon that just can withstand so much destruction. So now we're going to go ahead and go with our other 2 beads. We're going to place the beads right above the beads that we just placed down. So first we did a medium-sized bead because this is a short nail. We're going to go with a smaller bead, let it polymerize, 1, 2, 3, and just place it right above the first bead that we laid. And you see we're just walking it down. You see it's not sticking to my brush. I'm not wiping it away. All the product is there. I'm just going to blend it down into the second bead. Well, I'm sorry, into the first bead that we laid. This also helps build up your apex. Your apex is your stress area. You do not need a super thick apex. I don't care what your client tries to tell you. I don't care what some nail techs say. You need a super thick apex. You do not. As long as the apex is there, the structure is there. And you also want, look at how nice and smooth that is. You see how even that is? A lot of clients will look at their nails from this side. So always make sure that you're looking at your acrylic from all sides. Because if your client looks and says, hey, this is off a bit, one side is higher than the other, you want to already get that before they even notice it. This is what makes you stand out as a good nail tech. Now, I told you guys I like my cuticle beads just to be a little bit wetter than my other beads because I wanted to flow smoothly into that cuticle area, and I wanted to just blend nice and smooth. And I'm just going to do the same thing. Go from side, side, center, and just light strokes. And as you can see, I'm using the tip of my brush, just the tip, to stroke it out. You just want to feather it. And there you have the perfect bead. So I want you guys to try all these tips and let me know if this helps you out on your journey.